2 minutes. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. It looks like Fans First Sports Network on Facebook's not letting us do it again, so I'm going to report
Yeah,
it.
I see that.
Yeah.
Boo.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining the Burning River Browns Talk. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us. That is a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. I am Lou Marconi. I am here with my friend Sherry and co-host and colleague.
Hello.
She is on the Breezy Browns Talk every Wednesday night. Check her show out here, a colleague on the Fanatical Elves. I think we're following Ethan and Heather with their new show. Hope you guys enjoyed that show. Now you're joining us. Thank you. We appreciate it. Got some information to go over. But Sherry, first and foremost, how you doing?
I'm okay. My week was pretty miserable, but hey, it's the end of it, so that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, it's been busy for us, to say the least. So,
Sure, I can imagine.
yeah. So what I got here, what I wanted to show, is I got the Jack Duffin interview, and I'm going to play
Awesome.
it. So we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about the interview, but also some stadium stuff came out recently.
Right, I saw on Fox 8. Man, they are, you know, keeping
They're
up
on
with it
top of
like
it.
nobody else. I'm
Yeah.
very impressed.
Yeah, they're. I mean, Ed Gallick's been doing a great job with
Heck
that.
yeah,
Great
yes.
work. And I'm gonna say, hang on, there was somebody. Let me get on that Instagram because there was a reel that I sent you.
Yeah, that
It was the
was
COO.
I saw that dude's interview when it aired, and, I was gonna text you, but I
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
sure if you were
Well,
awake or not, and
well,
then
what
it put
depends on
kinda
what time
bad.
it was. What time was
Yeah,
it?
I think it was on the 10 o'clock news.
I was up. I mean, yeah, I'm not that old. Let me see. I know I sent you a bunch of stuff. Hang on. Let me look at who did or I would have sent that to Harvey. Hang on. I would have sent it to Harvey too. It's the
Sure.
where is that? Oh yeah, well the guy's name I want to say Jenkins, David Jenkins, the chief operating officer of the Haslam Sports Group. What
Yeah.
what they did was they released their financial plan of financing the 1.2 billion of the 3.6 for the entire complex. That 1.2
Mhm,
billion is for the stadium itself.
mhm, mhm.
The 2.4 is for the stuff on the outside. That's all private investors. So we're going to talk about that, but did talk about that with Jack Duff, and we're going to talk about Myles Garrett stuff and other things. I'm going to turn my fan on. Ooh, ooh. So
Ooh.
let me go ahead and play this. Tell me if you hear it okay, and tell me if everything's going well. Let's see. We'll probably play some stupid ad.
Oh, no.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Burning River Browns Talk special interview with friend and colleague from the Orange and Brown Report, Mr. Jack Duffin. How are you today, sir? Who's that handsome guy on
Good.
the left?
Hey, we're what, a month away roughly from free agency. It can't come soon enough. And that's the lots of people get excited about the draft. But for me, if you want to know what is going to impact the 2025 season the most, it's free agency. The draft is there as that 26 and beyond. If you want to know what's going to happen in 2025, the free agency classes are the place to start.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dive right in. Everybody's talking about the big controversies that Myles Garrett asked for a trade. I'm hearing different numbers for salary cap implications on trading him. That's why I've always said I don't think they're going to trade him this year anyway, this offseason, because it would just. So what would be the dead cat number if they did trade him before June 1st?
Yeah, so if they trade in before June 1st, it's
Mhm.
just over 36 million. I'm not going to go into
Ouch.
the $220 on the end of the number, but 36 million is what that number would be.
Wow. Dead cap space, including Watson's contract.
Yep, so that's dead cap space. So that's money he was paid in 21, 22, 23, 24. This isn't any new money. So like he made some comment that he seemed very rational when he was like, I'll change my contract. I'll do anything I need to get this trade done. In all honesty, there's nothing he can do to help this situation. That money is on the books. It's money he's been
Right.
paid in the past. And effectively, it's what all teams do. They'll pay the money, they'll split the number over different years. You've got to account for that money one day, but where the salary cap's going up, you can pay 120% roughly of the cap sustainably. So they've got their model, but the model isn't designed for you to get rid of your star players. It's just not how, if you wanted to cut him, different story. It's not designed for you to trade away star players.
They're not doing that. They're not doing that. No. Now here's the thing too. What if it's after June 1st? Would that be different?
Yeah. So after June 1st, one thing they'll need to do, he is due $5 million on the 15th of March. So they'd need to go to Miles and go, hey, we need to move the date in this to the 3rd of June or something. So it's moved. But effectively, his dead cap would be 14.75 million in 2025 and 21.5 million in 2026. So exactly the same amount of dead cap. It just splits it over 2 years.
Ooh, that's not good either. Let's think that I heard also if they waited till after June 1st of 2026, it would be like 1 million. Is that correct?
No, it'd be a lot higher still. So you've got all the money from this year would go into that. Waiting doesn't help. And in my opinion, if his contract doesn't change and he is on the roster the 15th of March, if they pay him that 5 million, that's it. It's game over. He is staying here. And by that point, I think he will have accepted that's the position of what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you and I were talking before this. We're kind of in agreement that really the Browns don't have to really do anything. They don't, and he's he could sit out if he wants to, but it's not going to help him. But go ahead.
Yeah, if he sits out, then they just get the money back a year later. He's not any financially better off. He's financially worse off. So he's due about 19.8 million this year in cash. Next year, he's due 25 mil. And all they can do is they can just keep franchise tagging him, because the franchise tag roughly in 27 will probably be somewhere around 27.5 million. And then a year later, 120% increase, 33 million. So if he wants to play hardball, he can play hardball, and he's a free agent in 2029. He has no leverage. People keep overstating this, that, oh, Myles Garrett's got this leverage. Myles Garrett's got no leverage at all. He knows that. If he had leverage, he asks the team, and then the team will trade him or make the move. The fact that it's become public tells you he has no leverage at all.
Right. Yeah. I was telling a colleague with the Elves, Fanatical Elves, so Johnny Cleveland, I said, this isn't the NBA. The players don't have that type of power in it. This isn't Kevin Durant leaving Oklahoma City for Golden State. This is a totally different setup. Okay. So it's not, me, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, I would put money that Myles Garrett will be lining up for the Browns opening day in 2025.
Yeah, I put the odds at an 80% chance he signs an extension before opening day. And just to kind of set that scenario, if he goes and signs an extension, his salary cap number now is, what is it? It's 19.7 million for the 2025 season. Even if they pay him 40 million a year, so we're going, Nick Bosa's the highest at 34. If they went crazy and gave him 40 million, you're looking at around 24 million maybe is the salary cap number. So that's 24 million if you make him the highest paid defensive player in the league. That'd be the highest paid player outside of quarterbacks. That is a insanely high, a lot of money. So they could do that. They're perfectly fine. Yeah. You've then got 12 million extra in dead cap if you trade him away. And then you've added 12 million of dead cap. The way they backload contracts, that 12 million is effectively 60 million, because you can give a signing bonus. If you gave a 60 million deal to someone with a signing bonus, it would only be 12 million of salary cap space effectively. So you're saying the Browns, anyone proposing the trade is saying you should get rid of a defensive player of the year talent, and you should lose 60 million of spending power. Whatever picks you get back are not going to bridge that.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No.
He knows that. It's now just a PR exercise. They released it on the Monday of Super Bowl week so he could go do Radio Row, because at the end of the day, he wouldn't be on Radio Row as the guy that was on the Cleveland Browns and they lost unless he issues that statement. So it's one that they're just trying to use shame and sort of public berating of the Browns to leverage it into a trade. But they know there's a very low chance this happening, and it's just not going to change.
All right. Well, a little bit unrelated, but the day it broke, on Monday it broke. They were organizing a protest at Huntington Bank Field. Did you know about that?
I saw it online. I haven't seen any photos or videos of it
There's
happening.
only two people. Two people showed up. It's just like they're trying to, and I'm like, what are you protesting? Nothing's happened. It's just it's business. It's just like it was ridiculous. It looked like kids waiting for their moms to pick them up at the movie theater. It was just bad. So yeah, two people. I didn't know if you saw that or not over across the pond. Can we switch gears to Watson, to Deshaun Watson now, because he's pretty much done since he tore his Achilles the second time. Hearing the rumblings now is that if it requires a second surgery, which if it's torn bad enough it would, that he would retire. If he does retire, how would that affect the cap?
So he's just not fundamentally going to retire, because if he retires, he can give back 92 million, but there is no incentive for him to do that. He would just see out his contract, and whether it's on the sort of injured reserve list, whatever list you decide to put him on,
Pup. Yeah, the pup list. Yeah.
start on PUP and then move to IR and then probably never come off IR. But it's one that there's no incentive for him to go and retire and go, hey guys, you were nice to me, have 92 million back. So it's
Thank
one
you.
that he would just see out his contract. And
Yeah.
we don't know the exact insurance amount, but once we get to sort of mid-March, a couple of days for the league year, the Browns will get a little bit of salary cap. It could be 5-10 million from sort of insurances on players last season. If Watson sits out this entire season, in a year's time, we'll get some insurance money for him missing the 2025 season. We don't know exactly what that number could be. Some people have speculated up to 40, but it could be down as like 5-10 mil. But at the end of the day, if you're going to get money back, it all helps out. So it's one that they'll get some money the year down the line, but they're just going to restructure it, keep pushing it out, and he will get cut. What is it? It will be on the first day of the league year in 2027. So they'll keep him for the next 2 years on the books, however they want to do it, PUP, IR, God knows what, and then they'll release him and let him go.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I was gonna ask you about this because I pointed something out. Like we talked a little bit about, because we're doing this shortly after the Super Bowl, and the Philadelphia Eagles just did a shellacking of the Kansas City Chiefs. That defense.
I'm not sure if this might interest you, but people ask me, how did you lose so much weight? And here's what I tell them.
Line just completely dominated the game.
What you love when that happens.
What the Browns do, you've said in the past, is similar to what the Eagles do. But I wanted to make a point. A lot can change in 12 months, because a year ago, there was rumors swirling that the Eagles coach was going to get fired because they pretty much collapsed at the end of the 2023 season, and they had a blowout loss to Tampa Bay in the playoffs. But look what they've done. Is that same model similar to what the Browns are doing now?
Yeah, very much. The Browns take it to a slightly further extreme with restructure and everything, but it's very, very similar. It's by far the most similar team to what the Eagles do is the Browns, and the most similar team to what the Browns do is the Eagles. It actually even rolled onto this year. There's a great video. I'm pretty sure it's from Super Bowl, but Sirianni is walking up the tunnel and just shouts, "You were trying to fire me after week 4." And it's one that I believe it was Super Bowl, but it could have easily been sometime in the playoffs. But that just goes to show it's like, these things move really quickly. And the Browns' philosophy, if you like what the Eagles are doing, you can't criticize the Browns. And if you don't like what the Browns are doing, criticize the Eagles as well. The only difference is they missed on their quarterback in Carson Wentz. They extended him and it bombed, but they had Jalen Hurts that then hit. If they don't have Jalen Hurts, no one's talking about how good the Eagles are. They're talking about that as, oh, the Eagles and the Browns, they don't know what they're doing. It is luck of hitting on a quarterback. It's as simple as that. And if Deshaun Watson, when they drafted for him, is everything you hoped it'd be, we could easily be sat here talking about the Browns are right up there with the Bills and the Chiefs, and they're battling for that Super Bowl every year. We are only talking about one position on the 53 that hasn't worked the way you'd want. People are too quick to say, oh, it's a dumpster fire. It's like, no, this is the same roster that went 11-3 last year. Not 11-3, 11-5. So the Browns are in a good spot. They just need to find that quarterback. And we don't know the answer. Is it Russell Wilson for a year? Is it Kirk Cousins for a year? Is it someone else for a year? Who knows? But they are bridges. Even if you go and get Kirk Cousins, it's a 1-year deal. Sam Darnold Sam Darnold's not going to take you to the promised land of Super Bowls. He can take you to playoffs, And do you want to commit 40 million to a guy that just takes you to the playoffs?
Right.
That's an argument that people can get to, because just Kobe Brissett can probably do the same thing of getting you to the playoffs. But is the ambition just to get to the playoffs and give yourself a little bit more security? Or is it to find that long-term answer? If you want that long-term answer, it's always going to be the draft.
Yeah, I've covered Ohio State along with the Browns, and I think Will Howard out of the draft is like the best fit for Stefanski's offense. To me, that's to me. I don't know if you've watched Ohio State enough or not. Before we wrap this up, I want to know, what dates should people look for the beginning of the league year? Because you're mentioning mid-March. You said March 15th was for Myles Garrett's contract. When does free agency start?
Oh, let me.
I was like, I didn't mean to blindside you with the question there. I'm just giving people dates to keep an eye out for, and then we'll go from there. And also, people, you can find Jack Duffin at Jack Duffin on Twitter X, and you can find him on the Orange and Brown Report. He does great stuff. Any cap questions, he'll help you out with it. Go ahead.
So the new league year officially starts on the 12th of March at 4 p.m.
Okay.
Before that, though, is the negotiating period. So 2 days before that, at the 10th of March at midday Eastern time, free agents can start negotiating with teams. So that is the very first moment that a team can pick up a phone to an agent and say, hey, I'm interested in signing your guy. What's going to happen is within 30 seconds, they're going to negotiate every part of the contract and one is going to get announced. Effectively, once you get to the combine, teams already doing these deals, even though the league bans it. Combine is the unofficial start of free agency, where everything gets sorted and then it progresses. But 12th of March is the official start of the league year, but the 10th of March is when you see all those deals start coming out, and that's going to be exciting times. Don't expect too much for the Browns right out the gate potentially, because quite often they're a day one, day two free agency team. They're not going for the guys that are getting 20 million plus. They're going for the guys that are sort of that 6 to 12 million range. This year could be slightly different, depends who they want to move on from. But it's going to be fascinating, because if we go through free agency and they're barely signing anyone and all of their deals are 4 million and less, that idea of the full rebuild, trading Myles Garrett, trading Denzel Ward, Njoku, Greg Newsome, the lot, comes a lot closer to being on the table. I don't expect at all that to be the direction, but that's the one that we will know the direction of the 2025 Cleveland Browns within 2 days. You will have a strong feeling of what they are.
Again, we've said this, pay attention to what they do, not what they say. Essentially. Well, guys, they Jack Duffin, thank you so much again. I'm always appreciative. People, check him out on Twitter at Jack Duffin, at Twitter X, whatever you people want to call it. And also check him out on the Orange and Brown Report. Jack, thank you again. Always a pleasure. We'll look forward to having you probably after free agency starts, probably later March, early April. And if you are you going to do any mock drafts before I let you go?
So I'm doing mock free agent scenarios.
Okay.
I think it's about the 24th, 26th of Feb. I've got them kicking off most days.
Okay.
But at the moment, I drop an article. It's 5 a.m. Eastern time every day. I am going through all 800 free agents and just kind of going, yeah, this guy interests me, that guy doesn't. And broken them all down. So we've got like the starting bucket for each position, the backup rotational bucket and the depth. But we're going through every single position room, and I'm just going through and being like, yeah, I like this guy. Nah, I don't like that. And just giving my opinion on all 800 and something. Guys, it's brutal, but it allows me to speak with conviction, going, hey, these are the 5 in this position group that I like, who are starters. And sometimes there's no one in a position group that I like. It's take sort of what's one as an example. Center's only got one I like. It's an upgrade on Pocic. Who is it? Corner doesn't really have anyone because I don't see them getting a corner. I think I've got Paulson Adebo in there just because he intrigues me if they want to move on from someone.
Do you see them getting tackles or guards?
Guards is if they keep Bitonio and Teller, then I don't see them adding a guard. If they move on, then Tevin Jenkins of the Bears really, really appeals to me. Tackles, they've got to add someone. If you want the lower end, it's Lucas, who is with the Commanders at the moment. I think he's your ideal of sort of 4 to 6 mil. You can bring him in and go, look, you're going to compete with Jones, whoever wins is the starter and the backup's the swing. If you can get a bigger name in here, whether it's Ulrich Jackson out of the Rams or something else, and you sign decent money, Dwan Jones is just spending the year as the swing, and that's perfectly fine. I want 22 proven players by the time the draft wraps around. If we're still talking about who's going to be the starter at a position, I'm worried. If you've got 3 legit options and we're talking about which of the best of the 3 is going to start, not the end of the world, but there shouldn't be anything where we're going, oh, we need to draft this starter at number 2 in the draft or we're short. If you go for an edge, give me Chase Young opposite Myles Garrett. And if you get Abdul Carter, that's fine. I will happily work out where Abdul Carter is on the depth chart. And if he only plays 40% of snaps for the first year, that's fine. Someone might get injured, something like that. But you put yourself in the strongest possible position entering the draft. No holes.
Chase Young has been injury prone too. He has been. So, I mean, that would be a good idea. But okay, great. Jack, thank you so much again. I know we always go over because we start talking and we do this, and I could tell you live to do this. Hey, looking forward to this offseason, looking forward to see what they put together. Also looking forward to the San Francisco game. The Browns are playing in London. That's not Wembley though. I can't remember which stadium it was. It's in London. Putnam. Okay. Yep. Absolutely. So we don't have the schedule out. The schedule probably won't come out for another 2 months yet. But guys, thank you for joining us here on the Burning River Browns Talk. Jack, always a pleasure. Thank you. Hey, thank you again. And guys, keep in mind March 10th, March 12th are the dates to look for, and you kind of pay attention to what they're doing. By the middle of March, we'll know what direction this team is going, essentially.
Yep. It's exactly that. Roll on the 10th of March. We're less than a month away now, so nearly there.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack. All right. Thanks, guys.
Well, that was that. Well, isn't that special?
He goes through all 800 free agents. Wow.
What a guy. He's a
When
better
does
man
he
than I
do
am.
that? Jesus Christ. 800.
He's a married man. I wanted to show off. This is a newer shirt I got. I like this one.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out. That's my girl right there.
Who is it? Ann?
Ann. Hey, Ann. How you doing?
Hi, Ann. Ann Friedman. Thank you, Jane.
Yes.
Thank you for joining the show, Ann. Thank you for commenting. Go ahead. You can
Ann.
Yeah, it's cool. Hey, so the Jack Duffin interview came across. The thing that I thought most interesting was everybody's putting up Myles Garrett sweepstakes. Myles Garrett. The Browns just said
He's
no.
not gonna win it, right?
They're like, fuck you, stay. It's pretty much it. The 2 dipshits that were protesting, that was great.
Well, that was very entertaining. Just well, we spoke about that last week about
It looked like 2 kids waiting for their
yeah,
mom.
Timmy's mom pulled in when her Honda Odyssey and let out 6 kids, and they were all standing there with their signs that they made, and then she swung around public square and came back and picked them up at 5:15.
And it's like he was laughing too. It's like, what are you protesting? Nothing happened.
Give people wild hair up their tuchus, and that's what happens.
What is
Myles Garrett? Yeah, Ann is not a Browns fan. Ann is a New Orleans Saints fan.
Oh, okay, Ann. How
She's
you
from
doing?
New Orleans.
You're from New Orleans. I've been to New Orleans. I loved it there. So who? Say who? What? Who's on first? No. So I've been to New Orleans. I loved it there. Stayed in the fourth quarter.
That's the multi-million-dollar question, Ann.
Who's your next QB? If I was a betting man, and I'm not, and I say that a lot, and I would guess Kirk Cousins. The Falcons are going to cut him. We'll sign him at the league minimum. That's what I think is going to happen. And
Yay, minimum!
Yay! And then
Yay.
What is these emojis here?
Clapping.
Oh, those are clapping? Okay.
Yep.
I'm an old man. So anyway, if I was just Kirk Cousins, not Carr. No, you can keep Carr. Fuck them. I don't want Carr. Hey, they got a new coach in New Orleans. They got Kellen Moore. They hired the Eagles offensive coordinator.
I saw. There's and the Browns got a handful of new coaching staff. I saw.
Yeah,
There's 5 new guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that was exciting to see.
5 guys. They're making burgers
5 guys.
and fries.
Yes.
Making burgers and fries.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. No, we love to have fans from other teams. Actually, I would like that. What was that guy's William? I haven't seen him on a comment on our show in a while. He's a Cincinnati Bengals
Oh
fan.
yeah.
Rizzy went to Denver. Okay. No, but because the one proposal that DeWine has right now, and he might have a tough time getting it through the legislature. Really, it's people. If you don't understand, right now for people to do gambling in Ohio, there's a tax for gambling. It's 20%. The governor, Mike DeWine of Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine proposed a 100% increase to 40% on the tax. So we went from 20 to 40, and to pay for the stadiums for all across the state and youth sports programs. Which if they can get it passed, that's great. The Browns had their own ideas of what to do. Was that she said, "Wow, okay. What about Rodgers? Fuck him."
Well, that was on the Babylon. There was a lot of stuff on the Babylon
about Rodgers. Yeah, the Jets are still going to lose without him.
That was really funny.
I'm really glad the Jets are getting made fun of more than us, so that's good.
It's refreshing.
Well, because we made the playoffs.
Not to be the whipping boy of the league.
The Jets haven't made the playoffs in over a decade. We've made the playoffs twice in the last 5 years, so that's.
But we could empathize with Jets.
And we have a playoff win. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey Brian, thank you. Hey Brian, when are you going to get a profile picture? You can't be that ugly. You can't be that ugly. Get a profile picture. Do an emoji or something. Do like a Hong Kong Phooey. That'd be awesome. Get a Hong Kong Phooey emoji, and that'll be you, Brian. I want to see a picture. That just looks like, I don't know. It just looks too mysterious.
The mystery outline.
He looks like he's in the witness protection program.
Maybe he is.
He's a mob. Are you a mob informant, Brian? Is that what it
might
is?
Be.
You want Goodfellas? Does he feel free? Oh, you want Jameis? Take him. The interception machine. He's a great guy, though. I think he's going to have a TV job.
For sure, because Terry Bradshaw, he's done. You saw that. You saw all the articles coming out about Terry Bradshaw being, he has cancer and he's not doing great.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So he's done with Fox. So
I got to meet him.
Oh yeah, he seems cool. He seems like an awesome guy.
He was a nice guy. I had my Brown stuff on. I was at the Cleveland radio TV station, WKYC. He came to talk to the show. I was surprised at how big he was. He's a big guy. I just shook his hand and said, "Hey, it's nice to meet you." He was really cool with me. He was making coffee. But one of the executive producers was thought it was funny because there's a reel of him when he played for the Steelers. There's a guy, a defensive tackle or defensive lineman for the Browns named Turkey Jones that dropped him on his head.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
oh, that's good news. Good news.
He's laughing. He's a mob informant. He's hiding from the mafia. That's what he's doing. So, Brian's not his real name. It's not his real name. No. But anyway, no. So they thought it was funny to do that, and I said, if we put that on the monitor and he's sitting on that set and he sees that, do you want to explain it to the news director why Terry Bradshaw got up and walked out of the show? You might think it's funny, it's cute to troll him like that. Have you ever had a concussion? Do you know what that does to you?
No, that's awful.
Ever put on a helmet and played football? I refuse to do it. I said, we'll show highlights of him playing.
I'm glad you stood up to be the good guy. You're smarter than that. You're the good guy, always.
Not always.
Hey, let me have the moment.
Well, no, thank you. I don't take praise very well.
Fine.
It just,
Oh, right. The ego. Gotcha.
Yes. We can't. My ego's big enough.
Right.
So let's switch some gears here. The stadium stuff. One of the points that was made, the Superdome in New Orleans, if anything, was it would be. I think it's going to be 50 years old this year.
Yeah. And is that right? And
yeah,
New Orleans correspondent.
Said, dude, where's my car? So the Doug Jenkins. Oh, hang on.
Okay, the Y means yes. So our New Orleans correspondent.
Yes, it is 50 years. So they're saying that this stadium's built right and maintained right.
Yeah,
it's going to last 50 years, and New Orleans is hosting Super Bowls. Yeah, it could be even longer.
Sure. Oh, she's eating dinner. Oh,
Well, eat your dinner.
well, eat,
Yeah,
eat,
yeah.
enjoy.
Manja. So yes, can you tell I'm not the Jew?
And is part of the tribe as well.
Oh, she is one of the 12
Mhm.
tribes of Israel. Cool.
Mhm.
All right. So what I was trying to explain is that there was a press conference with Jenkins. He's a chief operating officer of the Haslam Sports Group.
Right.
Finally, she said, oh, here, got to put it up there. Thank you, Ann.
Of course.
Well, nobody would have guessed with the name of Friedman. So,
Well, Morgan Friedman.
But spelled differently. It's Friedman, not Friedman. Anyway, can I fucking talk? All right.
No. Nobody wants to.
Nobody wants to hear me talk. Anyway, what happened was there was the financials was coming out. The whole project itself. Let me just kind of clarify when they're talking about taxpayer money for the stadium. Okay, technically that's true, but the whole entire project's $3.6 billion. 2.4 is publicly funded, and not publicly, privately funded with private investors, and that's probably for the most part the stuff outside of the stadium, whatever it's movie theaters, hotels, restaurants, and whatnot, all the other stuff, all the other businesses. Who knows what they'll have? You know, it could be a Starbucks for all we know. Just a bunch of Starbuckses. So that's that part's done, but that 1.2, they're working with the state on doing this. Now, what was talked about, the Governor DeWine proposed that the increase on the gambling tax to do it. He believes in this versus what the Browns want to do. They want the bond from the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, what did she say? Something about bagels? Is that bagels? Okay, I like bagels.
Hey, so, that would be good to put near the stadium.
Bagels, yes.
Bagel shop.
Bagel shop, perfect. Plus, the Brook Park mayor came out and said the parking area outside the stadium, that's all going to be there for tailgating. Mm-hmm. The two things fans talk about is the price and tailgating. You know, muni lot stuff, because it's a lot of it's like, is it going to be more expensive to go? Is there going to be tailgating? Is it going to be the same? I think it's going to be better personally, but let's just take it one step at a time. So it's not a matter of if the stadium's going to happen. It's not even a matter of when now, because they answer the question of when. It's a matter of how. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's going to be one of two ways. The governor, I like the governor's plan because he's saying, let's pay cash. Let's just get it done with. Let's get the cash, pay for it, and it's done. Which is good, because with the Browns, they want to take a bond, which is
I heard that. And
it's like a loan.
If the bonds are rejected, then they're screwed.
Right.
It's what they said that on the news. Actually, they did say that.
If it underperforms, the revenue underperforms. And I have the revenue here. This is from Cleveland.com. I'm going to go ahead and
the schematic. I was going to
not necessarily the schematic. It's just I don't know if you want to call it that. Here it is.
The money figure?
This is the money stuff. Did it pop up? It looks like it's struggling. Oh. It's struggling. It'll come up. I'll read it. If it pops up, let me know. It's an increase in the bed tax from 6.5% to 7.5%, with new money earmarked for the stadium. The county's bed tax on hotel rooms was last increased 5.5% to 6.5% in 2019 to free up money in part for Progressive Field and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. A county authorized fee of $6 per rental car, like the bed tax. The Browns say this spreads out the cost of visitors to the region instead of falling mostly on Cuyahoga County residents. Increasing the Brook Park admission tax from 3.5% to 6.5%. This would be the largest contribution from Brook Park, and the Browns point out a user tax. So buying anything there would be a 3.5% to 6.5%. Money from Brook Park parking tax. Some 12,000 to 13,000 parking spaces are planned for the stadium. Diversion back to the project city income taxes generated from players, staff, and other workers on site. So the people that are working there will pay an income tax there to help pay for it too. So that's their plan with it. Is that readable, or is there a way I don't think I can enlarge it. Can you guys read that?
That is, I mean, you gotta zoom in, everybody, 200%.
Yes. Well, I tried to put it up here, so let me just stop. Let me just that was from the Cleveland.com article.
Oh, they had a really nice chart.
Let me
Like a
see.
pie chart? Did
A
you
pie
see
chart?
that one?
Yeah, I saw that pie chart. Let me see if I
I
can
like
find
the
it.
pie chart.
If I could find the pie chart on here, I will. But that's exactly where I think it's a lot cleaner and a lot simpler what the governor wants to do
Mm-hmm.
versus what the Browns want to do. Because if these revenues underperform, then it's on the taxpayers. The bond
And
is on the taxpayers.
the
And
riots.
the riots, I don't think it'd be riots, but it'll be problems. But
Oh, yes.
the bond is on the taxpayers at that point. So now there's a date to keep in mind. Every 2 years, the state does its budget.
Mm-hmm.
The budget comes up on June 30th this year. So they're going to decide this. They're talking with the state, the Browns are, and the Haslam Sports Group, and the county, and Brook Park, and the state. They're working together on this. I think it's going to be partial this and partial that. I don't think it's going to be all for either one. I think they're going to work out something together. And I think something's going to be worked out by June 30th because it has to be. Now, what Doug Jenkins said, and inform people, if you have questions, how much will I'll get to that, Ann. I saw her question. What he's saying that they expect shovels in the ground Q1 2026, which is probably a year from now, meaning that's January 1st to April 1st, 2026. And they say they expect the stadium to be ready and open a season 2029 opener, which is the first preseason game, whenever that is. You're talking August of 2029, which we're talking 4.5 years away. So it can go by quick. That was my point. That's what I'm saying. Like it's going to happen now. Meanwhile, you got the city is trying to extort money through this pissant
they're
lawsuit.
still fighting. They're still fighting.
They're still going to fight. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get the Browns to cut them a check to develop the lakefront. Because I watched the clip on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show talking about this, and I agreed with a lot with what they said. Meaning that one guy was saying, because Jason Lloyd and Dustin Fox and G. Bush were on there, and I like all three of them. I agree with a lot with what they say. I was just going to say that I agree with like, hey, there's ways to do this, and the governor's proposal is cleaner. It's just simple to understand. It's there. He has to get it through the state legislature, so he's getting some pushback, but you're going to get that. That's politics,
of course.
So that's if the General Assembly passes it, he'll sign it, and we're done. Now the Browns have their own idea of how to do it, and I'm sure Brook Park might, and so could Cuyahoga County. But what it is, it's basically borrowing against future tax dollars and using the facility itself to generate the revenue. Now, I'm assuming this, in August of 2029, the dome will be ready, but everything else around it will still be under construction.
Oh, right. Oh, no doubt.
They're going to focus on getting that up and running and ready. And probably when everything else will be done, probably within 2 years after that, we will be hosting a Super Bowl. I would say 2031, 2032, we're hosting a Super Bowl. How much will ticket prices go up? There were proposals and projections of it, but a lot of that was the more expensive seat with the PSLs. So those prices were very high. But I'm guessing for like our seats where we sit, do you pay a PSL where you sit, Sherry? Neither do I. The prices aren't going up this year from what I understood. It's like
that would have been terrible. You got this shit season. We won 3 games, but we're gonna raise your tickets. Oh my! Riots.
No. I think what is it like? What is it like? $75 a ticket where we sit. I think 75. Depending, I'm up higher than you are. You have better seats than we do, but the thing is, we like it. We're covered. We're covered, and we're that high. We're 5 rows from the top, but we could see the whole field, and we could see what's going on. It's fun. But I was just gonna say, you don't know what the ticket prices are going to be, really, honestly, and it's just projections. But yes, it'll be more expensive. These same arguments were happening with the Indians when they went to Progressive. Well, it was then Jacobs Field. They got into it in LA, built faster than that. Well, they probably have better weather there too.
Sure.
So, yeah. What's
No,
that? What's that
I
emoji?
don't think they're not. That's 100%. I don't think they're looking at a retractable. I think we're going all the way full dome, right?
Oh yeah,
Were they
full dome.
talking?
They're not going to
Yeah,
do
you don't
retractable.
want to
No,
do retractable.
that's too expensive. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's too expensive. She said truth. I don't know what the truth's on, but hey, Annie, thanks, Ann, for doing that. Eating your dinner and talking to us. God.
I see. I'm looking at the clock there. I think there's something important we got to do real quick.
Let's take a break because Sherry told me to. She keeps me in check. So, guys, let's take a break right now. All right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the break from the sponsors. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Hey, Birding River Brown Slug. Also, speaking of sponsors, check out Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. The link is in the details of the show. Click on that link and order up some good coffee. It's a local company out of Columbus, Ohio. It's good stuff. So, we're talking about the stadium. Like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of how, and not even when, because we know the when. That it's happening. They have to do it. And I think the Haslams are going to negotiate some sort of settlement with the city. I think something will be done. They're going to say
hopefully sooner than later, because it is annoying.
They're all annoying. People are annoying. But yeah, I was telling one thing with Jack. If you notice what I was talking about with Jack Duffin, not only Myles Garrett stuff, but in the free agency stuff and what to look for. But as season ticket holders, there's usually 10 games. There's usually 2 preseason games or 1 preseason game, 8 or 9 home games. Well, there's only 8 home games and 1 preseason game because 1 home game will be in London. So I'm not flying across the pond.
No, that is a lot of.
Could you imagine being on a flight and being around annoying people like we are on the Rapid, like those two? Like,
I can't imagine it, because that's a long flight, and you would be the entire time. I can imagine you being agitated, like you're too angry to sleep. Like one eye would stay open like that the whole time.
Oh, I mean, Sherry will tell you. You sitting by me, and you know when I'm annoyed, and I just have this.
Oh, I just watch him the whole time. The whole RTA trip. I'm like for those of you who aren't local and have no idea what the RTA is, it's a little train, it's a light rail that takes you in and out of Cleveland. And just watching you is part of the fun, you know?
It's like there's these two women. They're trying to paint each other's faces on a moving train, and they're getting annoyed.
It's not smooth. It is not smooth.
Jerk is moving, and she's trying to. I'm like, you couldn't have done that before, like on a still ground, or you could have waited till you got to the terminal tower, maybe went into the bathroom and used the mirror to see what you're doing. Oh
it looked like she painted waffles on her. What was it? Her mom or her sister? Like somebody got waffles on the cheeks.
Yeah, and they were just loud and just obnoxious and annoying. It was just part. Then when we were coming back, we saw them. We're like, oh no, we're going on the other train. We're going in the other car. I pointed. He was like, oh yeah, good idea. We don't want to be around them.
That is. Harvey. What are the odds of you catching up with those ladies again?
After, and it was after a loss, and we're in a pissed off mood. I'm like, no, I can't deal with this now. I just can't deal with this. No.
Yup.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on your Valentine's Day. It's really pleasurable to do this. We actually talked. I asked if you and Matt had plans, and I said, no, we got tomorrow. Yeah. I said, Christine and I are doing something tomorrow. So that's cool. But happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Thank you for having us be a part of your be part of your Valentine's Day on a Friday. Yep.
That's funny. So my grandpa, totally unrelated, but it is Valentine's Day.
Well, if he's your grandpa, he is related to you. Yes,
he was. And being the raised Orthodox, he's like, my grandma was always kind of hinting, like wanting flowers, whatever. And my grandpa's like, it's Saint Valentine's Day. It's not our holiday to get out of buying my grandma flowers.
It's a Christian holiday.
Yeah, but it was that little loophole that I thought it was quite clever and very funny when my mom told me that story.
Where you're from, did they have Sweetest Day? You ever heard of? You heard of it? It's a
up
local
here.
thing. Yeah.
Up here, I've
It's
heard
like a
of it.
made
I'm
up
like,
holiday or something. And I'm like, sweetest day. My wife doesn't even care about it. I don't even know when it is anymore. What'd you buy me for sweetest day? I'm like,
I'm like, I don't. Wait, what?
what is sweetest day? Yeah.
Will there be another candy sale? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, it'll always
Because
be.
tomorrow really is the holiday.
It's just another excuse to eat candy.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's like Halloween, Easter.
Yeah. I saw at
That's
Costco they had a massive Easter bunny out already.
already.
Hershey like chocolate Easter bunny. It was massive.
Well, hey guys, Easter's coming up. I
It's
think
on 420
is
this
Easter on
year.
420.
Yes, it is.
Did you ever see that? Bob Zaney was a comedian, had this routine, came out with like Easter basket grass and holds up this bag. And so he just looks, he goes, don't ever buy marijuana from the Easter bunny.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
The crowd laughed. Yeah, he was good. He was good. So, anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us. It's great. We love having you here. Love talking Browns, love talking everything else. So the stadium is going to happen. I am looking so much forward to having that there because
something to be proud of.
The events are going to happen. Events are going to happen in Ohio. Super Bowls, NCAA Final Fours, WrestleManias. There's other pay-per-views WWE can have here. Like I said, the Royal Rumble happened at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis a few weeks ago, and it was the place was packed. It was a huge event. It was a great show. Well, it was, the WWE is great for entertainment. So it's really something that we can have here regularly. And having an empty football only stadium sitting on the lakefront, deteriorating with that lake. It's just, you guys, trust me. And they say, well, we don't have that weather advantage. Well, how does that work out in the last 25 years? Get a better team. I mean, we're fine. Little draft talk before we wrap it up. Let me kind of ask you, because you're hearing a lot of weird stuff now.
I know so much weird stuff.
It's like silly. We're not even 2 months away from it.
Silly season.
But Mel Kiper was on David Bacon's show, a clip of Mel Kiper, and he pretty much says that I could see them taking Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter with the first or second pick, because those are the two best players in the draft, and waiting to take a quarterback in the second or third round. I could see them going offensive tackle with a 33rd pick. And I said they might trade up one spot to get with the Eagles to get the 32nd pick and have a 5-year control on a quarterback if they really like a quarterback and if they want to do that, like offset 5 years of control with a first round pick, because moving up one spot's not going to hurt them.
Right. Sure.
I told you, I said it on Jack Duffin's show, the interview with Jack Duffin, but I'm hearing two people. I'm hearing Jackson Dart or Will Howard.
I've been hearing Jackson Dart, and then I've been hearing a lot more stumping for Shedeur Sanders, which I find interesting. Have you seen that too?
Yeah, but back in November,
everyone's like, no, blah, 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 blah.
He didn't want to play here. He hated. He didn't want to come here. And
apparently, he's coming to check the place out.
That's routine. That's standard. Yeah.
But he's coming like sooner than later, and that's kind of interesting, I suppose. And
yeah, absolutely. I think honestly, he's going to come. I'm sure Cam Ward's going to be here.
Of course.
Carter, Travis Hunter. If they take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, depending on which one's available, I will not complain. What's so funny?
Of course, I'm going to take him to Jack's Deli. It's part of the itinerary. It's part of it.
What do you mean by that, Ethan?
No, I will get him. I will not give him. I will get him. Word phrasing.
Yes.
We must be aware of the phrasing.
I think that's auto correct.
Maybe
Yeah. Goodness. So anyway, I would say Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, quarterback later. But I'm going to go out on a limb. This is a very deep draft in two positions, running backs and defensive tackles. And actually, those are places of needs. So I think I am liking a lot from Caleb Johnson from Iowa, Montarian Hampton from North Carolina. Those two Judkins or Travion Henderson. Those are four running backs that could be available in the third round. Hearing a lot about a lot of good defensive tackles. The top one's a guy from Michigan, which is Graham, but he's going to be in the top 10. He's going to probably go somewhere like the Jets or the Raiders or somewhere around there. But I really don't see them taking a quarterback early. That's just me. Like I said, if I'm wrong and I'm wrong, fine. They take Shedeur Sanders. He's a star. Hey, if the Browns draft him, I want him to succeed.
Sure, of course.
I do. Like
Whoever
when the
they
Browns
draft,
traded
yeah.
for Watson, I wanted him to be good. I want him to succeed. Just like when the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield. He's wearing the Browns uniform. I want him to do well.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at. So go ahead, Sherry. What are you thinking?
No, just because I am like, I don't want to wait. Like, I just want to get it over with and take the plunge and get a quarterback. Like, I want a quarterback now. Like, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to pass the second draft pick to get a quarterback. But maybe I need to pump the brakes. But I just want somebody that could be developed in the system. Sure, fine.
Well,
let's get Abdul Carter. Sure, fine. Whatever, great.
Well, Mel Kiper said this, and I've heard this from other draft analysts. These guys this year, compared to last year's guys, won't even be in the top 6. And that's what they said. And you're talking about Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Penix. Those are 4 guys in the first round. All these guys blow them away. And Caleb Williams did not have a good year. He had a horrible.
So bad. Oh man, was that sad?
And you know, and it's sometimes it's the team, it's the environment.
That's exactly it. You don't know if they're going to thrive or not. That's just it.
Jaden Daniels got put in a great situation. He excelled. He's a great athlete. My God,
he is extremely athletic. Wow.
And I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward couldn't be either of these guys, but a lot of times quarterbacks get overvalued and hyped up in the draft.
Agreed. Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's see what they do. Like the 1 year, I'm hearing 2 things. I'm hearing that certain teams are high on certain guys. I do not like Jalen Milroy out of.
I've heard. It's funny. I was talking to a guy at the gym about that, and he was just like, "Hell no!" Like it was very funny how adamant against.
He played terrible against Michigan. What was that? What bowl game was that? Gator Bowl or Outback Bowl? Alabama played Michigan in a bowl game this year. I can't remember which one it was, but he was horrible. He played like shit against Georgia too. For Alabama, it was just they lost to Vanderbilt. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. Let's see how I think the combine is coming up. That's a good point, Ethan. Thanks for joining us. Hey, I hope his show went well today because I caught some of it with him and Heather.
I did not. I am always busy Friday night up until this time.
Yeah.
It is a busy night for me. But yeah, no, and even from the combine, we'll just get stats. And stats are great, but it's so controlled. It's such a controlled environment that it's,
pro days. Some guys don't even throw at the combine.
Exactly. And it reminds me of Westminster Dog Show. It's all the measurements and okay, let's see you run this and we'll time it and we'll see you. Okay, do it again. Let's take them around the circle again. Okay, that's great. Sure.
Ooh, this is a Pomeranian.
Yes. Shout out Monty Giant Schnauzer winning Westminster. Mazel tov to you. I mean, he's athletic. Good for him.
Good for him. Absolutely.
Good for him, Monty.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. The Westminster Dog Show is the NFL Combine. Let's see. I'm sure the NFL Network will love that. There's people that sit around and watch the combine and they'll write stuff down. I watching guys run through.
I see many parallels. That's all I'm saying.
And the combine is in Indianapolis like it is in every year.
Right.
2025 NFL Combine dates, Thursday, February 27th through Sunday, March 2nd. So that's when it is. It was the Outback Bowl, I like to call it. Who gives a shit bowl? Thanks, Ethan.
Do they all get a bloomin' onion? Because that would be worth playing in, to get your bloomin' in.
Crikey, get the bloomin' onion.
Right on, bloomin' onion.
Gary Busey's there with butter sausages.
Yes. That is
We
frightening.
gotta I want to get him on the show.
Oh,
Just to piss him off. I just want to piss him off.
He is terrifying. I met him in real life, and it was just very stressful and unpleasant.
Does he go to the doctor and ask for his prostate to be checked? So
not that kind of doctor, sir. Not that kind of doctor.
I want you to check my prostate. Give it a real thorough checking.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, that's like my other joke, my Valentine's Day joke. If the woman happens to have that time of the month, Valentine's Day is a real pain in the ass. So oh, it's after 9:30. We're good.
It is.
Kids are in bed. Kids are in bed.
They better be.
Oh, I got jokes. Well, the pre-Super Bowl live Sunday Stew Pod. Did you catch any of that? Or that was wow. Whatever was going on with StreamYard that day, guys.
Really?
Everybody was going live.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't get on. We couldn't get on. We kept trying to get. There was a guy, Thorell from My Dog's podcast, was reaching out to me because there was a guy named Big Willie.
Great name. Me too. He
reached out. He wanted to do a segment with me, and I never heard from him. I had my problem because I got my live show, but when I'm done with my live show, I'll be happy to help him out and get on the show and do whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I help other people, just like they help me. It's great. And I never heard from him, and he said he was having issues, and I said, you know what, man? So was I.
Yeah,
we were an hour late.
He asked me too, but he was doing it through Facebook, and I'm like, who uses Facebook? And Thorell was like, wow. And I'm like, who uses Facebook? I'm like, all right.
Old people use Facebook.
I'm guessing so.
Well, that was an interesting take from Tim. I don't know if you know who Tim Pool is. He does Timcast IRL. He does his show out of West Virginia. It's more political. He's a libertarian, and he's really good. He's really the guy with a beanie on, and he's
beanie.
Yeah, he's really good. But he was on Crowder's show.
Okay.
He joined the Rumble Premium Mug Club with him. He's getting more of his stuff geared to Rumble, just like Crowder is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's predicting in 10 years, YouTube's going to be like the Facebook of social media.
I could see it.
Yeah, seeing that. Well, the reason why people are going to Rumble is because it's open and free content. That's why Corey and I started doing our show on Rumble, so we don't have to worry about being demonetized or taken off or anything. Even though we would probably have quadruple the following on YouTube, but
it's harder to reach folks on YouTube, though. It's a lot harder because there's so much content on YouTube, and stuff gets buried and
it gets banned.
It's clunky. It's clunky. Yeah. I think it's clunky and kind of.
I like doing what we do because it's just the freedom to do it. It's just having the freedom and because like the other thing too is like if you sign a contract with a social media company or some sort of media company to do podcasts, it sounds like a great idea and you got guaranteed money, but they own you.
Right.
You got to do all this stuff and jump through all these hoops. Brett Cooper's a great example from the Daily Wire. She left and she went on her own and boom, she's up in the top 3 in podcasts. They made her a star. She's a very talented young lady. Candace Owens was another one from the Daily Wire that left and she has her own show. Megyn Kelly left Fox News and she has her own show. She does a great job. Dave Rubin left the Young Turks. So there's lots of people that maybe getting on a company to start to get yourself out there might be something, but I really, and with the Fanatical Elves, I really am not that restricted in what I do, but the one thing they told me, this isn't a political show and I don't do politics on here. So that's just it. If you want to hear my political opinions or us to talk politics, check out the Sunday Stew Pot with Corey and I on Sundays on Rumble. And I send out the clips and everything. Fanatical Elves love it when I do it. Fans First likes the reels and everything. So they appreciate us doing it. It's just, sports and politics are 2 separate things. So
for sure,
that's pretty much it. More cultural stuff too there, even whether, how politics is usually downstream from culture, but you've been on our show on the Stew Pot, so it's been fun. So it's always a good time. Go ahead. Now we talked about the draft. We talked about anything else. Is there anything? What are you seeing the Browns doing with that second overall pick? You want to see a quarterback, or you just
Yes, I am on that. You know what? I'm on that hill. I'm planting my heels in that hill. That's where I'm.
Hey. I'm just saying.
I would really like a quarterback.
I think we're going to get one, but it won't be day one. I think it'll be day two.
Okay.
I think it'll be day two. What if they did this? What if they pulled off a trade? They took 2 overall, and at the very end of the first round, they traded up 1 spot with the Eagles to get a first round quarterback to have 5 years of contractual control of a rookie.
I'd be okay with that.
If they did that, and somebody like a Jackson Dart or a Will Howard.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Will Howard was he played a lot of football, and he was just on fire during that playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
He was but he had such a great team around him too. So is it him? Is it the team? What is it? So it's kind of
differentiate,
It's hard. Yeah, but he played a great game against Notre Dame. He played an even better game against Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He was phenomenal against Oregon and against Tennessee. So all 4 of those games, he just did great. And I think it was that loss to Michigan. That team played like they were pissed.
I think that's the fire that was lit underneath their tushies.
Yeah, it just did. Their tuchuses.
Their tuchuses.
That's a Yiddish word, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm getting there. Got to get my Lou to Yiddish dictionary. But hey, guys, we appreciate it. Hey, anyway, thank you for commenting. Ethan, thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody. Brian, look forward to seeing that profile pic.
Me too.
Yes, he's in the witness protection program, so that's what he's gonna laugh. We just get a profile pic, man. It just creeps me out. So but no, we appreciate all of you. So definitely check out Sherry's show on Wednesday nights at 9:00, right?
9:15. I'm taking a little hiatus.
Okay.
But
okay. So when you
be back at some point,
you can always. I'd come on and shoot.
Yeah. No, anytime. I know that.
If I'm begging her to get on, I need airtime. I just want to
There's not enough Lou in this universe.
Well, you know what? If you want to take a little talk about the Super Bowl, the best thing, Corey and I talked about this, how the Chiefs got booed and Taylor Swift got booed. I think people just got sick of them.
Yeah.
Give it time. They get sick of you. So you don't want to do too much, but you don't want to do, you got
to find the Goldilocks zone. You got to be just right. Right.
How can I miss you if you don't go away?
Exactly.
Yes. Right. I've said that before. But guys, thank you so much. Hey, John, thank you. Thank you, John. John gave us a like on Facebook. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you. Check out the Fanatical Elves Network. Like, share, subscribe. Check out the sponsors of the show. I'm Lou Marconi. You can always follow me on Instagram at lmarconi251 and at lmarconi1973 at X. Sherry, you are at Browns Fan Girl on X and Budgie M on Instagram. Check out her content. She does great work. It's a great show. And you still with the Squad Pod, or did they kick you out?
Not yet. Or they did, and I don't know.
No, she's in those group texts. You just no. It's cool, guys. That was fun. Squad Pod's great. I love those gals. Those ladies are great. They're fun to be with. Hey, I haven't talked to them in a while. I am looking forward to just getting back to tailgating again and just having fun going.
Sure, absolutely.
And I'm also looking forward to being like drama free.
That's all I want.
Just no more bullshit. Just stop it.
And you know that the start of the league year between March 10th and March 11th. 12.
Wow, you said it before I did.
I did. Right. Well, in between is March 11th, which is my birthday. So the Browns always either make it really good or destroy it. So I'm hoping this year that they do something good and don't destroy it.
Well, I hope they do. I think your dog wants to go out.
No, he's dreaming. He's dreaming of he's sleeping. That's dream buffs. Which is we put him to sleep.
Announcer guy Drew. Thanks, Drew. He said, "Can't wait to see you two again. Have a great weekend." All right, he said, "Great show." Announcer guy Drew said, "Great." Thanks, Drew. Thank you. That was on X. I just saw the comment. Yeah. So, guys, we appreciate it every time. Like I said, you can always find us, always message us. Wonderful time. Check out our shows, check out our content everywhere else. Anything else? Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
I got no, I got nothing. Nothing.
Nah.
Nah.
I already said my Valentine's Day joke.
Yeah. Tomorrow, tomorrow's the real holiday. Everybody enjoy the 50% off candy.
And thank you to all the hotel maids that have to clean the sheets.
No. I hope they get raises.
Yes, they do. Yes. Housekeeping. Por favor. Housekeeping. So, what? Okay, one last. I'm gonna leave it on a joke. I'm gonna leave it on a joke. It's
Do it.
well, I have yet to see the Barbie movie. We've yet to see it, but did they ever explain in the movie why Barbie could never get pregnant? That's because Ken. Just because Ken comes in a different box. So,
That is well.
always remember, when the river burns, it burns brown and orange. Have a great night.